Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off, online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Msr Kelley. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, and with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Yo, welcome back to another episode of On Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and in today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, good friend of the show, and a very familiar guest on the show, Dillon Kelley, aka the Dkthemobilityguy. DK was previously on episode 54 and episode 101. DK is currently playing in the Southern Professional Hockey League with the Macon Mayhem, playing 12 games so far this season. I'm very excited to have DK back on the show, as he's always a great guest to have on and has become a good buddy of mine over the course of the years. So it's going to be a really fun episode. So welcome back to the show, Dillon Kelley.
Thanks for having me, man. Super excited to be back. I hope your viewers aren't sick of me yet.
No one can be sick of you. You're a great guest to have on. So we bring the greatest guests on the show. So you're one of those guests.
Right on. Love that.
Yeah, but DK, like, how are you? Like, you're in Macon, Georgia right now. So how's everything going there?
It's going well, man. We're on a little bit of a Christmas break right now, so we've got this week off. We got to be back on Christmas Eve. Some guys went home. I chose to just sit tight and take care of my body. Getting old, so got to spend a couple extra hours a day, just a couple extra baths, salt baths, stuff like that throughout the week to just stay healthy, stay feeling the right way. So it's been nice, man. Honestly, both my roommates left, so miss them, but it is nice having a house to myself and just been kind of kicking back. Honestly, got a fridge full of groceries. I'm gonna meal prep for the rest of the week and get some good food going. And other than that, not a whole lot. No snow, so a little different than like a normal Christmas in Michigan. But it is raining right now, so kind of just been sitting inside. Hopefully the weather the next couple of days is a little bit nicer, because a few of us want to try and get around to golfing. So,
golf.
Yeah.
How is the golf weather now? And now that it's like, even though it's like winter, but like there's no snow or anything, it's just like raining.
Man, right now the weather's kicking my ass, to be honest with you. So it's weird. Usually it's pretty nice. Like this time of year, you need layers for sure. Like you need to be prepared for like 3 different temperatures throughout the day. Like when you first get up, it could be like 40s, which around here would be really cold. So you're like, wearing sweats and a sweatshirt to the rink in the morning. And by the time we're out of practice, come 1 o'clock, leaving the rink, you're in shorts and a t-shirt type weather. So and then it'll drop off again sometimes in the evening. So but right now, just as of like late the last like week or two, I really don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's more rain or whatever the heck's going on, but it's really messing with my like seasonal allergies. So that was another reason I'm kind of just sitting tight. I've just been the last week and a half, I've just been dealing with some allergies. So finally getting better, getting used to that. But other than that, man, the weather is not bad. Like most of the times it's between 60 and 70. If it's not raining, you can probably play some golf. So no complaints.
Yeah, it's a lot different over here in Illinois. It's usually 20 degrees at minimum or at maximum in the morning, get up to like 32, 33, then go back down to 15, 20. Or there's those weird days where it goes from 32 degrees to 65 the next day, and then it drops to 30 again. Like you never know what's going to happen in Illinois, and it's just messes with those allergies for sure. And it's super annoying, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. I'll take the allergies for the extra golf.
Yeah, absolutely. Just hitting the links. What's your favorite golf course to hit up there?
We really only have one that we have free golf to, and so that's really the one I go to. I like it. There's lots of good golf right around here in Georgia, though. I know Augusta isn't very far away from where I'm at in Macon. I'm not totally sure, maybe a couple hours, but I haven't made it over there to like take a peek at that course. But there's golf everywhere down here, so that's definitely a perk being in the South.
Yeah. So what's your average 18 hole score?
Just because I like to golf doesn't mean I'm any good at it. And I really haven't golfed as much. I really haven't golfed as much as I would have liked to since I've been here. I've really only gone a couple of times. Was hoping to change that during break, and then, as the weather starts getting nicer here towards the end of the season, try and get out there a bunch more with the guys too. But I'm not very good. I'm a 3-digit golfer for sure.
Yeah, same here. I'm like average like 105 to 110 probably. Like the first 9's perfect, and then you get to the last 9 and it goes downhill from there.
Yeah. For me, it's just trying to keep it in play off the drive. It's either a piss missile right down the gut or whatever, or it's not playable. Like it's either good or it's gone.
Yeah, there's always that one hole, like when I was over the summer, like I ended up on like a totally other hole, and I was playing on the other green from that other green. It was so weird, and like that's how it goes. Either go straight or curve to the right or straight down the middle. It doesn't get better than that.
No, tough. It's a tough game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to touch on like last season a little bit here, since it was like one crazy season for you, especially since you were supposed to be playing in Danbury last year in the Fed, and then that got canned, and then you ended up going to Elmira for a little bit, where you played in like 17 games or something like that, and then going over to Macon for the Mayhem and the SB. So like, what was last season like, and the craziness that happened throughout that year?
Yeah, so obviously, like, kind of like you just touched on, I had a lot of movement. Showed up to Danbury, was there for a month. We're hoping we were going to play, and it just didn't work out. So then we all became loan players and were eligible to be picked up by, I think it was 4 or 5 teams that played last year. So one of the other 4 or 5 teams, and Elmira picked me up and went there and played pretty much most of the season there. Had a really good time. We had a great group of guys. We had a lot of success as a team. Ended up losing in the finals to a good team in Columbus. Had a couple call ups to Macon and the SP at the end of that year too, and kind of got to get a taste of what it was like, here, and kind of establish myself a little bit, here with ownership and the team and whatnot. So. And that ultimately set me up to come back here this year where I'm at now. And I guess before moving on to this season, my focus last year was just, every game, just being grateful to even be playing hockey with the teams at every level being so few, and COVID, of course, and whatever. I was just thankful to even be able to be playing. So even if I did go out there and shit the bed, like at least I had the opportunity to do that. So And I think that for me just helped me really just focus on being grateful rather than like, how some guys get nervous or stressed about playing. Um, I just tried to focus on being thankful and grateful to be able to play. And in turn, that helped my game. I went out there and I put up some decent numbers last year and had a pretty good season personally and as a team. So that's really all you can ask for. And then here so far this year, I'm really enjoying myself here in Macon. Like I said, the weather's great most of the time, and we have a great group of guys that we're learning and we're getting better every day. So really like the coach as well, and yeah. So last year, with as crazy as it was a lot of good came from it for me.
Yeah, for sure. And like that's what I was gonna ask, like, what was it like getting that opportunity to play those games last year, especially with everything going on, a lot of teams not playing, and then getting that opportunity to start a lot of games and playing 17 games out of, like, you guys played 25 games last season, right? Or something like that.
Something like that, maybe a few more, maybe like around 25, 30. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, and just being grateful for that opportunity to play and just being able to play every day that you're there.
Yeah, man. Really, I mean, I think just being able to play and stay in that routine of playing games definitely helps, especially as the goalie. It's hard for anyone, player or goalie, to take a full year. For some guys, like a year and a half technically off from playing a real hockey game and being in those moments and whatnot. So especially as a goaltender, where the position's so mentally challenging, and there's so many different things that you face and have to overcome both physically and mentally as a goaltender at a high level. That could be difficult to get back in the rhythm of and whatnot. So I felt like it was important to if I had a chance to play anywhere, to just go play and enjoy it and stay in that routine. It's, again, more games, more reps, more experience. So playing in a league like that, sometimes you can find yourself in some, facing some high scoring grade A opportunities in some key situations. So it gives me that opportunity to be that guy to make the big save to help win the game and whatnot. Those are all very obviously important learning experiences if you want to be, a goalie at the next level or just an elite goalie at your current level. So for me, I just felt like any game was important and was going to be beneficial to my development. And ultimately, it ended up being a much better experience because with all the teams, so few teams, there's a lot of drop down, a lot of trickle down. So playing in the Federal Hockey League, it was definitely, I would say, better hockey than what it was the year before, when the SP had its full number of teams and whatnot. So the hockey was pretty good, and I'm grateful for the time that I had in Elmira. I really enjoyed my time there with the coaches and my teammates, and the experience and the development I made in my game during that year, and it definitely has helped me have some success this season.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've talked about like development. So what have you seen in your development since last year coming into this year and going from the Fed and Elmira last year to the SB this year and playing like a full-time gig in the SB this year?
I guess the biggest thing for me is I'm a little older guy now, so a little more experience and just a lot more level-headed. Me personally, I feel my mental game has really taken a lot of strides in the last year, starting with last season and continuing through this season. That can be the hardest part as a young goaltender, dealing with the ups and downs of not just, your own game, or not even just your physical game, but your mental game. And then, on top of that, the ups and downs of your team around you. Teams go through highs, teams go through low, they go through scoring droughts, they go through, scoring highs, stuff like that. So all of those things are factors that can affect you as a goaltender. And it can be hard to manage your first, couple of years, especially depending on your situation, whether you're a starter or backup. So just, I think managing all those things, I'm pretty, just no one's going to get in between my ears. I'm pretty dialed in what I need to do. And, regardless of, what's going on around me with my teammates. If we're high, if we're low, if things are good, if things are bad, I know what I need to do, and I know where I need to be physically and mentally to get that job done and do my part. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a piece of the puzzle. So, hockey isn't like basketball where, LeBron James can go out and score 80 points and they win the game. If the other guys on the team pitch in maybe another 15 or 10. So, I can only try and stop as many pucks as I can, and ultimately try and give my team a chance to win. So, if I'm just focusing on doing that, then I'm focusing on doing my job, and then I can help try and pick up my teammates however I can. And if I'm doing that, then hopefully my teammates are doing the same and focusing on their job. And ultimately, that's how you help the ship rock in the same direction. So.
Yeah, it's like, what do you have to do to like fine tune your mindset throughout the last couple of years to make it where you're comfortable where you are at now and just being able to just dial in when you have to?
So, it stems from a lot of things. I think experience is huge. Experience is everything. So just getting those repetitions, getting that experience. And, a lot of it comes from your work ethic too. For me, I'm a guy that I thrive off of. I get confidence from my work ethic and knowing I'm doing the right thing. So, taking that next step in my game, which was, through junior and whatnot, I was kind of just doing things on my own, learning on my own, figuring it out. And, I was training hard, but I might not necessarily have been training smart. Now, I'm an older guy. I'm a 4-year pro. I know my body really, really well. And I have trainers and programming in place that is completely dialed into what I need personally as, a 27-year-old goaltender. And, as well as I just have the coaching to help me goalie specific, right? So it's not just me as a human, but me as a goalie as well. So the demands of goaltending is different than any other sport. So just having that goalie specific training, I think, has been huge for me, and has also given me the confidence mentally to just have that confidence knowing that, I feel like I've got the secret sauce, and the things I'm doing, no one, the guy at the other end of the rink doesn't even know about. And, I in my opinion, I've got a leg up on you. And it has helped me just take my game to the next level. And, more than just the training, like, you've got to execute. Like, it doesn't matter if you have all the help in the world, if you're not willing to put in the work and stay consistent with it. So and ultimately that comes down to just loving it every day. Like, motivation will only take you so far. If you don't love the grind every day, if you don't love putting that work in every day, it's going to be pretty hard for you to do something like that every single day. That's why, getting off topic, I can't stand seeing people work 9-to-5 jobs they hate. Like, if you're going to do something 9-to-5 and not even make if you're not even making a shit ton of money doing it, go find something that you at least somewhat enjoy waking up and going and doing every day that you can make the same amount of money for. Right. So no amount of money is worth your happiness. So ultimately that's, you gotta be willing to grind, and you gotta enjoy the grind.
Yeah, absolutely. And like me, like, I'm a college runner, and I play hockey as well, and I have the podcast and everything. Like, everyone's always like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I love the grind. Like, I get up and I love doing what I'm doing. I love grind, like going on the grind every single day. And a lot of people don't get that, but like, it's, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like, once you know that you love the grind, like, you're just a workhorse at that point. You just want to keep working and grinding your way all the way to the top.
And that's growth, man. Like, that's personal growth. Like, you don't, because then you have those nights, you just get hungrier and hungrier. I had those nights where, I was up till 5 a.m, and either whether it was figuring out how to make my website or revamp my app, do all this stuff, programming. And, I didn't even want to go to bed at that point, like, because I was so invested in it. Like, I was hungry for it. I wanted to get it done. I wanted to find a way to, help goalies succeed and create something that could really be next level for the goalie community. So, yeah, and when you're hungry for something, it doesn't feel like you're working for anything but yourself. So, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Keep it going.
the hungrier you are, the more you want, and the more you're gonna do anything you can to get to what you want.
Definitely.
Yeah, and like also like when you're saying like repetitions, like and experience, like repetitions and experiences like crucial to like development as well, because if you're like getting those repetitions and then you're getting that experience like in the game and practices, like even for me, like going into like last year, like I was training with a bunch of the boys that didn't have jobs last year. And then like going into this year, like you could just see a big difference in like your development, your growth from from what you perceived during your time when like COVID did hit, and then where you are now. Like it makes a huge difference in just gaining that extra step that you need to be successful wherever you are.
Definitely, man. And you notice the guys who didn't take advantage of that time off, and maybe the guys that didn't play or weren't planning on playing at all and then decided to come back this year, who there's definitely some disconnect there. So I definitely think, I personally, COVID was huge for me, and I definitely took advantage of that time, and I think it's helped me really take some steps forward in my game. And I hope other goalies did the same, so, and continue to do so at the time that they do have.
Yeah, absolutely. And during your time in Elmira, you got in a little goalie fight. So what I have to ask, like what went down with that?
Yeah, man. So that was a good time. Shout out to Caffrey, man. It was all his idea. I didn't know what the hell he was doing at first, but it was I think it was a 2-1 game. We were winning 2-1. And it was in the second period. I think there was 11 seconds left in the second period or something like that. And we were playing Columbus in Columbus. And they had a pretty good second period. They had us hemmed in for most of the second. And I just remember being really gassed. And I was tired, whatever. And there was a little scrum down there in front of his net. And then out of nowhere, here he comes out of the pile, like waving at me, shaking his gloves. And I'm like, man, like, what is this guy doing? And at first, my initial thought was like, no, like you can't do this. It's a 2-1 game. Your team needs you in this game. Like, I just kept us in at that period. I need to, I can't do that. Well, he keeps skating out of his net. Then the whole bench is looking at me, their bench and my bench. And I'm like, well, I can't look like a bitch in front of the boys. I was like, that's going to deflate them even more if I just like turn down a goalie fight rather than if I drop the miss and maybe beat the shit out of this kid. So like maybe I bag this kid, fire up the boys, and we come out and have a hot third. All right. So whatever. Couldn't look like a clown in front of the fellas. We ended up squaring up at center ice. Like you couldn't ask for a much better scene. Columbus has a really good atmosphere, great crowd. So there's lots of people in the building. Him and I are, right at center ice, WWE style. Take your helmets and gloves off, circle for a little bit and grab each other. And I was going to wait for, he had a big smile on his face. He was ready to rock and roll, all spunky and stuff. And I knew he was going to probably come out swinging because he looked like he just had all this energy. So we grabbed and I waited for him to swing first, and I just dodged back once. And then once I start throwing, I just don't really stop. So I just started throwing. We had a good little tilt. We both threw a couple, and I started throwing a couple right and lefts. And then we both kind of lost our balance, and I fell forward over top of them, accidental teabag, and then the refs grabbed us. So, but it was a good time. We dabbed up after he was, we both popped up, and he was all fired up. He's like, heck yeah, man. Like, so, it was a good time. Like stuff like that doesn't happen every day. And for it to be in like an atmosphere like that was pretty special. So it was a good time. The refs loved it too. I wasn't suspended or nothing, just kicked out for the rest of that game.
Yeah.
Ended up playing, started the next night. So It's pretty cool.
Can't complain about a good old goalie fight, especially when you square off at center and then like you guys are both have so much energy and just dab each other up. Like there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, it was a good time. He was awesome. It was fun. I really haven't had a chance to talk to him after. Like didn't see him after the game or anything, or haven't really had much of a chance to talk to him about it after. But yeah, it was a pretty good time. I'm sure he had a good time too.
Yeah. So what number goalie fight was that? Was that 3 or 2 that you've been in?
That's technically number 3, but that was my first one with the goalie. I got in a
two
fight
against
in
players
junior.
and then 1 against goalies.
Yeah, I got in one in junior in the North American League with a player. I got in one in my first year in Fayetteville with a couple players. And then actually it was Fayetteville against Macon in Macon. And then last year, Elmira. So
yeah, can't complain about a good old goalie fight. Those are the best for sure.
yeah, we'll see. Well, yeah, I had an opportunity for one this year, and I pussed out. I will say.
What happened with that one?
It was against Birmingham, actually. Shout out to Lotzi. He might have to get him on the podcast one of these days. He's a good dude, but I don't know him very well. But it was a 2-0 game with like 4 minutes left, and the game was getting chippy. And he started shaking his mitts at me, and I was like, "No way!" I saw it, but I didn't pay attention to it or anything. I just kind of looked away, like I'm not seeing this right now.
You see it, but you're not wanting to do it.
Yeah, and I thought he was just being a punk, and I ended up getting a shutout that game. I think the final was 3-0. We got an empty netter or something like that. But he skated down afterwards and like, again, gave me a little goalie hug and was like, "Hell of a game, man. Like, only reason I was asking you is because I knew you were a big dude and that you probably would do it, that you'd probably go." And I was like, "Hey man, we'll do it another, not tonight, but we'll do it another time." So, well, we'll see. But respect to him, he called me out and I told him no.
Yeah, I feel like if you have a shutout going with like 4 minutes left, like that's probably you shouldn't go because you'd cost yourself the shutout then.
He's a good goalie too. He played really well that game. Has a 6 setup as well.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Lotz is his name. Yeah, Austin Lotz. So
I'll have to try to get him on.
Yeah, man, great style. Has an all black ultrasonic setup. Looks very crispy over there in Birmingham. Great goalie. Played well the one game I got to see him play against him, and he's got some balls. He called me out. So yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So then after last year, you get called into the SB in Macon. So like, what was that call up like? You didn't see any game action during that time, but you did go to Macon for quite a bit towards the end of the season. So like, what was that like in Macon and just making a name for yourself for this year to get signed by the Mayhem after last season?
It was good. It was a great time. I really enjoyed playing for Coach Kevin Kerr, and he's probably one of my favorite coaches I've had, and up to that date, and I really enjoyed kind of learning from him and seeing his passion for the game. And the SP only had 5 teams in it as well, so there was a lot of coast players playing in the SP that year, and basically our entire team from last year is playing in the coast this year. So it was a really good experience for me to come in there and practice and join that team and get a taste of kind of what it was like again at the essentially the ECHL level and be on a team that was looking to win a championship. And I met some great guys there, some unbelievable hockey players, and again just having the opportunity to get to know the staff, learn the rink, the locker room, stuff like that, the trainers, the front office people. It just makes it that much easier to come in, this season now for me to come in and feel a little bit more comfortable and people know your name. So you feel a little bit more wanted. They know who we are and whatnot like that. So it definitely helped me be able to come in and be a little bit more comfortable. Not that you want to come in to camp comfortable per se.
Yeah.
You know, every year you have something to prove, but there is that level of comfort that you need for you to you know, to be able to play your best. So
Yeah, that's unreal. And then you sign into this year for Macon. But before we go into this season, I want to talk about like your summer. Like you spent a ton of time training with different goalie coaches, and you even got to spend some time with an NHL goalie coach. So, like what was that like, and the things that he taught you from that experience with the NHL goalie coach?
yeah, so I've got a really great team of goalie coaches that I work with on the ice back home in Michigan during the summer. Rob Liddell and Taylor Carey are my two OGs. Been working with those guys for it feels like forever now. So work with Taylor up north in Gaylord, Traverse City area where I'm from, and Rob's obviously in the Metro Detroit area. We'll make some trips down there to see him, and was fortunate enough to get on the ice a few times with Jeff Salako as well, who I've worked with a little bit in the past when I was skating with the Wings development guys a couple years ago, just in the summer.
Yeah.
Not so much working with him, but he was on the ice working with like the other guys. So he saw me, he knew who I was a little bit, and it was pretty cool. The first opportunity I got to see him and skate with him again had been, you know, this summer, and last time I had seen him probably been a couple years, and he remembered my name and knew what I was doing, and you know, with DK Mobility and whatnot. And it was really cool to just see that, you know, some of those guys at those levels could just, you know, not even remember your name or really care to know your name. So Jeff's a great guy. I really enjoyed working with him, and having the combination of the three of those guys really, I think, was huge for my game, for working on everything from situational reads to just little you know, technique, skill plays, right? We want to be as efficient as we can in gut traps. We want, you know, to have efficient integrations in and out of our post load, active hands. So just having a combo of all three of those guys to help me round my game and prepare for the season was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you learn a lot from those experiences with all those different goalie coaches. Like, would you say those three were pretty much the main focuses that you had throughout the summer and just trying to get better at?
So, you know, I would say the stuff I was working on with Sal was a lot of the fundamental stuff. So, like making efficient stick saves, gut saves, working on having good active hands and tight, getting places on our feet. Right. If you watch good
That's
NHL
huge.
goalies, they're not sliding around very much. So, working on things like that, and then not only being efficient with it and being crisp with it, but now can we do it at a high speed? Can we do it at a high level? Because if you're going to be able to do it at the next level, you need to be able to do it quicker. So, and then, you know, working with Rob and Taylor, same sort of thing. You know, Taylor loves to work on different skating patterns with me. So he really helps me get better with my edge work, crease movements, stuff like that. And then again, feeling pucks, tracking pucks well, making sure we're you know, executing elite habits with our puck tracking with our eyes head first when we're moving somewhere, all those little details, and as well as just different situational reads. And again, you know, working with Rob, kind of looking at the whole package. I do a lot of situational stuff with Rob. You know, he really helps me break down different reads and gives me different looks and options in different scenarios. So just again, the three of those guys, I think combined for me, it makes me feel like I've just got every area of my game on the ice covered. And I'm super, super excited and grateful to have those guys in my corner to work with in the off seasons.
Yeah. So like, what are some tips to be more efficient? Like, obviously it depends on the situation, like efficient gut traps, efficient stick works, skating. Like, what are some tips like overall to keep yourself efficient, not doing too much to make yourself overthink or overcommit on different shots?
So if there's honestly one thing, like, I mean, obviously that's a somewhat complex question because there's
Yeah.
so many things we have to do into making an efficient, even an efficient belly save, right? We need to have good eyes. We need to have precise movements. We need to be square. We need to be balanced. We need to get over there on angle, square. rotate it correctly, and then we need to track it off the blade right into our belly and get our arm under there, and yada yada yada, right? So there's so much that can go into just a simple save. So if there's one tip that I can provide to just help goalies with like every area of their game, it's I call it have happy eyes, right? So, and that's not just with tracking pucks into your body. That's like your head moves before anything else. If that puck goes laterally, you're moving your head there and seeing where it's going before you move your body to it. Andrew Hammond explained this to me on the ice. He used the analogy of a pilot, right? A pilot doesn't fly a plane before he knows its destination, right? He doesn't just take off in the air and figure out where he's going. That'd be pretty scary if he did. So why are we, in this example, we were talking about, pushes off our post. So why would I leave my post to go push out somewhere into the sea if I don't
know where
I don't know where I'm going? Where's the puck? Is the guy a righty or a lefty? Like, even if I have a general idea of where it's going, like it might be a push that I'm pushing here if he's a righty, or here if he's a lefty, or whatever. So that's the whole screen. That's the difference of half the net, basically. So I would say the best piece of advice is just work on training that habit of every day when you get on the ice. Okay, eyes first, like happy eyes. So my eyes are everywhere. That's going to allow you to track pucks longer, because even if your body isn't in the spot, your eyes are in the right spot. Yeah. So you're able to track that puck and move into it or whatever. It's going to give you more time to track pucks, which is then going to improve your, puck tracking, your hands, your active hands, stuff like that. And again, knowing where the puck's going, it should help the efficiency in your movements, and your angles. So that would have to be my piece of advice, is just work on having happy eyes, and having eyes move first no matter what.
Yeah, the head controls everything. Like once you get those eyes and head going, like everything else follows. The body, the shoulders, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then you go like into the like deeper off season. Like what do you focus on during like the right before you leave for camp? Like what are you focusing on? Just the same thing, or you just focusing on like just feeling comfortable before you go to camp and go to main camp?
It really just depends. It depends on where my game's at. And that goes for every goalie. Like no one's game is in the same place, at any given point. So I think some rule of thumbs is we want to go into camp feeling confident and feeling good. So really focusing on making sure my body feels, my body feels good. Mentally, I feel good. We want to feel rested. We want to feel energized. We want to feel springy, right? We want our body to feel springy. We don't want to go into camp feeling fatigued. Like, I don't think you should just train your ass off right up until the day it's time to leave for camp. Like, you need to be going into camp feeling 100% and 100% recover, 100% rested. And, that giving yourself that last week of, I'm not going to say do nothing, but of, making it a recovery week. So you're going in really fresh, really energized, really excited for camp, not thinking, oh shit, here's another week of work. Like I just grinded for 3 months and now I got training camp. Shit. Like, no, give yourself, that last week to really rejuvenate and re-energize yourself. So you're going into camp feeling springy, both physically and kind of mentally. But, with that being said, doing things that just, work on fundamentals. We want to go into camp feeling crispy. Again, stick saves, hand saves, belly saves, things that make you feel good, help you feel good on the ice, things that get your feet moving right. We want our feet to be, happy and quick and crisp on the ice as well. And then if there's any areas where you still feel like, you've got some gaps, maybe you've been fighting some post load stuff or whatever, that little thing might be, we're going to throw in some extra of that detailed work that's specific to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like throughout like this off season, like what's like the biggest thing you learned this off season to help you grow as a person and an athlete? So like an all around question there.
Honestly, I think just the biggest thing I think that has helped me, and this might sound a little cliche, but it's my MSR program. I think the biggest thing that's helped me is having an avenue to help other goalies, and having being in on all these Zoom calls with all these different coaches and mental strength coaches and all of this programming that is given to my goalies and given to me. I've just learned so much from it, and it gives me obviously all the tools that I need and the confidence to feel like I'm doing something that only the other 10 goalies in this program are doing. No one else has this kind of training. And on top of that, it just makes me feel grateful that I'm, able to take this things that I've learned and push it on to, the younger generation. And, there's goalies I'm playing against. I got to play against a good buddy of mine and an MSR student in Austin Rodebush just the other day. And he beat me. I think it was 3-0. They got an empty netter, but it was like 0-0 going into like the 10-minute mark of the third. And then we had a little bit of a mental lapse there for a couple of minutes, but great game. And like, it's just like, I lost and that sucks, but it's so cool. Like I get to, here's not only a friend, but a guy that I train and I've helped get to this level. And he's a great goaltender. And he's not going to be at this level for long. I definitely think we'll see him at the next level as well. So it's just pretty cool. You can't ask for anything more. And ultimately that's kind of all I really want in life is fulfillment in what I'm doing and being able to give back and provide some sort of value in what I'm doing. So being able to help goalies is my passion. And I think honestly, that's just helped me approach the game a lot different way, and not like outside of the confidence that the program's given me and the results my goalies have seen, but it's just helped me kind of approach my own playing from a whole different perspective.
Yeah, I love that. And it's just like it must be unreal just seeing like how your MSR programs have gone, seeing Rowdy beat you at your own game pretty much. And then just seeing all these goalies have success at their whatever levels they're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. And it's fun to be able to, like, I'm no agent, but it feels like in a way I am, because I'm like following my guys and I'm talking to them weekly and seeing how they're doing. And like my guys in junior, they're talking to schools, so schools are talking to me about them, blah blah blah. And it's exciting. It's like it feels like I'm going through it all over again. Like, oh shit, I'm about to commit D1. Like, just like so stoked for him. And I will. It's like having the opportunity to live the dream all over again. Like I wasn't fortunate enough to play Division I hockey, but if I'm helping one of my goalies, commit Division I, like, or not even, if I'm just helping him with his training and he has a good season and is able to commit Division I, like that is so awesome to me. That is like, shit, I just got to commit Division I all over again. Like that's so cool. Like that kid's living on his dream now, and like who knows where he goes from there. So it's pretty neat. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's sick. So you go throughout like the summer with training all these guys, and then like you leave for camp and you're in Macon, Georgia for the Macon Mayhem. You guys get off to a slow start, and you guys are finally starting to like come around and like get some wins. So like what has this season been like for you personally and for the team, especially like at that first like 8 games you guys were like 0-8 or something like that, and like since then, like how's it been since that?
It's been honestly, it's been a learning curve. We've got a super young team here, and I think I'm one of 3 vets on the team. So a lot of rookies, a lot of young guys, a lot of guys new to the league. So it's been a learning curve for sure. It's been fun kind of being in a position where I'm in a bit of a leadership role just because I am an older guy with some more experience. So it's been a lot of fun having the opportunity to help lead a team and teach some of these young guys how to do things. And that is a pretty big transition from college to pro. So a lot of guys had a lot to learn coming in, and we still do have a lot to learn, but it's pretty cool to just see guys learning every single day and guys showing up wanting to learn and wanting to work hard and get better every single day. And we have gotten a lot better. Like you started to say, you know, we didn't get our first win, I don't think, until like Thanksgiving, but we had a lot of 1-goal games. We were losing, you know, a lot of one close games, and we had some games that weren't so close either in there as well. But you know, we battled a lot of adversity the first part of the year, and we're starting to string some wins together. We've had you know, the last couple weekends, we've been able to, you know, find one win on the weekend, so we're chipping away at it. And you know, our coach is working hard to help give us you know, the right pieces to succeed out there. And you know, the guys are doing everything they can to put the work in during the week. So I'm excited. I think this break came at a good time for us. I'm excited for you know, the second half. I think it's going to be good for us. I think we're going to come back ready to rock and roll, and you know, we'll be a much different team the second half.
Yeah, it's like, how do you approach the game, like when you guys are losing like these 1-goal games, or getting blown out a few games, and then just like your mindset must be going all over the place, and just at that time, especially because you guys know you guys are going to get a win sometime soon, but like it just feels like everything's going south from there on out, and then you get your first win. Like what has been like your mindset throughout all this?
Yeah, so you know, I think like you said, you know, when things are going this way, it can be hard for your mindset to go all around. And you know, I think as a younger guy, like my mindset would have been that way. Would have been a little scattered and whatnot, but I really don't feel like that. You know, at the end of the day, I really try not to pay too much attention to the results. Obviously, they matter, and wins and losses matter, and I do look at it from a team perspective and from an individual perspective. But as far as just focusing on my team, I try not to focus, you know, going into game on like, oh shit, we're going into a game, we've lost our last 3, like, or you know, we've played bad in the first. Like, I really just try not to worry about any of that shit, because ultimately, I know what my job is, and like I said before, I'm just a piece of the puzzle. So all I can do is try and do my job and give the boys a chance to win. And if you know, I can stop every puck, then I'll stop every puck, and you know, if not, I'll just try to do everything I can to stop every puck. So that's really where my mindset's at, man. Like I really just try to focus like on every night, like, hey, you know, ultimately, like I'm not going to be able to win us a game. You know, I can in a way, for sure, but I can't score goals. So
Yeah.
unless we get 1 goal, you know, I can't win us a game. So really my focus is just, you know, doing the best I can and giving my team a chance to win every night. Like, so just one game at a time. You know, this next game we have on the 26th, if I'm going, you know, my focus is to just go into Huntsville and give us a chance to win, and play my best and do my best. Not even play my best, but do my best. I'm gonna try my best and you know, give my boys a chance to win. So and then go from there. Really, that's really all you can do, all you can focus on, and that takes the pressure out of it.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great mindset to have. And like, even like you hear it now from a bunch of goalies, like Garrett Sparks said the other night, like he's just out there having fun, like just playing the game, like not overthinking anything and just enjoying the game. And it just feels like when you do that, like the game is a lot more simpler, and like you have a lot more success than you would if you were just really overthinking yourself out of position.
I agree. Yeah, man, you're so right. And it's hard to do, honestly. Like that's probably one of the hardest things to do. And you know, in all of sports, and especially goaltending, you know, it's probably one of the most mentally challenging positions in all sports. So but you know, once you do find that way, or find what works for you, you know, to get to that level of you know, mental clarity, I guess you can call it, you'll see crazy changes in your game. And I know, you know, just through the mental strength training and stuff that we do in the MSR program, it's really helped me and done wonders for my game. And you know, my clients, my students in the MSR program have all said the same. So it's definitely something I'm happy to talk to guys about and refer guys to if anyone reaches out and is interested. So
yeah, absolutely. So what has been like your favorite part about playing in Macon so far this season?
Ooh, um, man, I guess there's a couple. One would be we've got quite a few. We got some pretty good sponsors. So sponsors of the team, like we got I think one or two places. I think I said one earlier, but there might be two places that we get free golf to during the week. So free golf with a cart, can't beat that. There's a place I'm actually going on Wednesday. Gives us free tattoos. Just got to tip him out, and that's pretty cool too. He's a huge fan of the
That's
team,
sick.
and we get a bunch of restaurant deals. The boys hit up this Mexican joint called Margaritas at least once a week. Excuse me. Endless chips and salsa, and the chips are like
Oh,
warm. Yeah, it's
oh,
absolutely delicious. It's great place. We get 50% off there, and they take really good care of us there. The staff there is awesome, and yeah, so everything on the menu is good there. So that's a frequent flyer right there. And then we got some 50% off spots at some other places too. So the boys really love going out to eat and taking advantage of that. And we got a sushi deal, so the boys go get sushi quite a bit. And our post game meals are usually potlucks from our booster club. So Macon has a pretty unbelievable booster club here. They take really good care of us, and they make like a potluck style buffet for post game home
wow.
meals for both teams. Yeah, and it's electric. It's a lot of tasty Southern comfort food, but it's yeah, the booster club here is unreal. So I'm really thankful for them as well. And then of course the boys.
Yeah.
Realistically, the boys are probably the most fun part about here. The food's great, but it's not nearly as much fun without the company. So
Yeah.
the best part is just hanging out with the guys and living the dream every day. Right? You go to the rink, you put the work in, and then you get to hang out with the guys. So
Living
not a bad
living the
life.
best living the best life out in Macon, Georgia. Nothing
Yeah,
better.
man, you got it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get a little update on how's DK the mobility guy doing, like all the mobility like stuff you have going, like all the different programs that you've been producing like the entire past couple of years. Like how's everything going with DK the mobility guy?
It's going well, man. Everything's really growing. I've changed some structure of things around, and I think that's really allowed me to benefit. Some of my programs to benefit more, as well as be able to provide it to more goalies. So I'll kind of just give you a quick run through. The MSR system is my number one program. That's my all-in-one, all-inclusive program. That is for elite level goalies, very dedicated goalies. It's a 90-day system, and it provides you with everything you need from nutrition to yoga to mental strength training to off ice training to on ice training if you need it, to one-on-one mentorship calls and everything else. It's I've got 3 or 4 other coaches in on it with me, and I can truly say there's nothing else out there like it. um, that's my main focus. That's what I focus on. I run 4 cycles of that a year. 2 are off season, goalie development cycles, so off season programming, and then the other 2 are in season programming. The first one would be game ready, which is we're finishing that one up right now. So that one started at the beginning of the season, just making sure guys, helping goalies, continue to take all of their summer training, and kind of ease out of that hard workload and stay at the peak of their game for the first half of the year. Make sure that they're game ready heading into the year. And obviously we had 3-4 months off of no games, so helping you get tuned in mentally as well is huge. And then our next cycle, which is going to begin January 10th, is going to be our playoff prep. So this is our playoff push program. It is again 90 days, all centered around helping goalies turn things around in their second half of their season
Yeah.
and then get ready. So that way going into playoffs, their game is at their peak, because ultimately going into playoffs, that's when our game needs to be at our peak. So
Yeah.
really, really excited about that. And again, if anyone's interested in that, just send me a DM and we can set up a one-on-one Zoom call. I always have a one-on-one call with any of the goalies that sign up. I only allow 10 goalies a cycle. So spots are filling up quick. I only have a few spots left, but yeah, they run every 90 days, and there's a waiting list for anyone else who's interested in the summer cycle. But other than that, I have really two other programs that I'm running right now: my hip mobility program and my splits mobility program, and I turned both of those into cheap monthly recurring subscriptions. So the hip mobility program gives you 2 hip mobility classes a week plus 1 to 2 days of daily mobility a week. Again, that's just there if you want it. If you only have time for the 2 days, then just do the 2 days. But I wanted to give you as much value as possible. And that's 2 hip mobility classes a week, 2 daily mobility routines a week. And that's a $30 monthly subscription. So for $30 a month, you get 2 classes. You have full access to my app and full access to me, via messaging in the app and all that. Those hip classes are live recorded classes. They're anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes. They were done on Zoom, so they're just live recordings, and you would just follow right along with me. It's a great way, I think, to start training with me, because I'm actually there on the mat running you through, doing everything with you. And Jack, as you know, you're a big fan of the program and a part of it as well. So I think it's a really good introduction way of starting this mobility training journey and training with me, and start beginning some goalie specific mobility training. And then my splits mobility program, that's for some older people, or more advanced goalies. The hip mobility programs for goalies of all ages. I've got young kids doing it. I have pro guys that do it. I even have some pro position players who are in the program right now, that are doing it, and they just like the classes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Easy to follow. So the hip mobility subscription program is really for everyone and anyone. The splits mobility program, I would say, for probably more like 15 and up age of goalies, and 14 and up, 15 and up. And that one's more workout style based. Every workout has its exercise. It's in a superset. It has reps, sets, all that stuff. And then it also comes with a video demonstration of the exercise, how to do it, and then written out coaching cues as well. So the app's very easy to use. I use Train Heroic. Everyone really seems to enjoy it. And then, both of those programs can be found in there. And again, the hip mobility program's $30 a month. And then the splits mobility program's only $45 a month. So, I wanted those were some more expensive programs, but I really wanted to drop that cost so I could, get it out there to help more goalies. So, so I've had some success with that. And that's really the two main programs I'm running. I do offer one-on-one online programming. So that's like a one-on-one monthly subscription to train with me, where you get custom programming, all of that good stuff. I have a few goalies that I work with that go that route. I've got a girl goalie who's training for Team Canada's U19 tryout. So she goes that route. So that would also be another avenue if someone wanted something a little more personal. But
that's unreal. I'll link everything in the description when the episode's up. And I will say that I will be coming back to the hip mobility classes very, very soon. So
we'll stop.
And like I still do like all the hip mobility stuff, like pretty much we are pretty much daily. Like I may skip a few days, or depending on like the time I have, like just this, I may do I usually do 90 holds pretty much every day, and like just do like windshield wipers and all that. And I'll do like the hip cars as well. And like I still incorporate that all in like my pregame stuff when I do skate. And like you can definitely tell a difference in the hip mobility and the life of the hips is for sure.
For sure, man. Yeah, I mean, it's I think that was part of the importance of getting this out there for me. And I wanted to I didn't learn about this stuff until college, or at the end of my college career, so going into my first year pro. So just being able to provide this kind of training and this kind of knowledge to goalies going into college, playing junior, playing AAA, just when your hips and your body is just so much healthier because you have less wear and tear on it because you're younger. Just being able to get that stuff out to them now is going to help prolong so many careers, which is obviously pretty cool.
Yeah, the 90
and ultimately what we all
holds.
want.
Yeah, 90 holds are a huge one for me. I love doing those. I could sit in that position for a while now.
Right on.
Yeah, so how would we get into some viewer questions right now
Let's do it.
cap this thing off? So we have 4. So who all right, let's start off with this one. Who is the craziest roommate you've ever had?
Craziest roommate I've ever had? Oh, wow. Crazy and crazy as in fun.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll go crazy.
There was no description of what crazy is, so we'll go with fun.
All right. I mean, I've had some awesome roommates, and some of my best friends have been my roommates. I think the craziest, the guy that just sticks out to me the most is Ray Bryce. We were roommates in Macon, and I wasn't there for a long time, but it was a good time. And his season got cut short because he was on concussion protocol, and he was eventually cleared and whatnot. But it was, by the time I got there, it was the end of the year. So him and I had a lot of fun together. We had a good time, and he's a good Michigan boy as well. He's from the UP. So he was a riot. He was a good dude. So he's probably the craziest. But I'll give a couple shout outs to Carter Shinkurik and Tyler Palmer. They're two of my roommates as well. Palms was my first year pro, and then Shinks was actually my second and my third year. And they're two of my best friends to this day. So shout out to those guys. Been pretty fortunate with some good roommates.
Yeah, always fun hang with the roomies and just get a good time going. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
The next question is, who is your favorite hockey player, like in general?
Favorite hockey player in general? Probably gonna have to go with Steve Yzerman, honestly. Growing up, I played forward growing up and wore number 19, and being from Michigan and growing up as a kid during the best time to be a Wings fan was pretty incredible. Now that I'm older and understand and see where we're at now, you appreciate it a little bit more. So probably Steve Yzerman, favorite hockey player of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great pick. And then what was your favorite part about playing in Fayetteville?
Favorite part about playing in Fayetteville? Trying to think. I really enjoyed my time in Fayetteville. Again, that was my first year in the South. So I really liked the weather. I liked that. That was my first year, having a winter with no snow. So I love that. We had a really great group of guys there. Usually when you live in a place, for the most part, it's the guys that make it so great, right? You can live in a shithole. Yeah. If you've got a good group of guys, it's going to be a pretty good time. So we had a really good group there. Got to do a lot of fun stuff. Went to some Canes games. So I really enjoyed that. I'd probably have to say that, going to the Hurricanes games and checking out Raleigh was a lot of fun. But out Fayetteville itself, the fans were great. I really enjoyed my time there, and it's special going into that building. Here in Macon, we play Fayetteville quite a bit. So going back into that building, it's always really special, and just kind of the fans and there's no place like your first year pro. So Fayetteville definitely holds this special place in my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this last one's like a 2-part question. Are there any Fed or SB stories that you can share that won't get you in trouble?
Fed or SB stories that I can share that won't get me in trouble. Yeah, but let me think.
Probably a ton.
I guess I mean there's just silly stuff that would happen in the Fed that you're just of course that happens. That is so Fed. For example, my very first Fed game was and I told a part of this story, the Pukeberg story, on Trav's podcast. And if you haven't heard that story, it's pretty funny. But It was my very first Fed game, and it was in Carolina. We go to Carolina, and they had won of the year before, and it was their banner ceremony night. All the guys were getting presented their rings, all this stuff. They were undefeated, and Danbury hadn't won a game at that point. So it's first night, and they're getting ready to, whatever. They go through their ceremony, they all get their rings, whatever. They go to raise their banner, and or they go to drop the banner, right? Because it was up there, and they go to drop it, and it just didn't drop. It just the banner never came out. So they did this big banner reveal, and it never even showed up. And then we ended up beating them 3-2 in that game. So it was their
First
home
of the
banner reveal. Yeah, man. But just little things like that. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's just some funny stuff that'll happen in the Fed, whether it's you're short guys, so your coach will sign. When I was in Danbury, we'd be short body sometimes, and our head coach Billy would have to sign and play, and he was great. He was over. I think he played 7 games for us, and he was over a point per game. It's just pretty funny when your coach can just throw the gear on and get a couple apples on D. Just little crazy things like that. And I mean, you deal with shit all the time in minor pro, bus breakdowns and whatever. But I think playing in the Fed really prepared me to just be able to roll with any punch that's thrown my way. To just you're gonna see some crazy shit, and you're just gonna have to still find a way to throw the gear on and play well. So I'm trying to think if there's any other good ones. I guess one story from this year. I think it was my first. It was my first game back in Fayetteville this season. It's pretty funny, but the first game back in Fayetteville was pretty special for me. And there's a fan in the stands that had a sign that says "Stay and Macon, DK."
You're not wanted here anymore. Go stay back in Macon.
Yeah, man, little stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of stories, right? And sorry I didn't have any better ones on the tip of my tongue for you there. But I'm gonna get off this call, and I know I'm gonna get off this call and think of a couple and just be rats. But we'll save it for episode 4 with DK.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the second part to that question was, what's the biggest differences you notice from going from the Fed to the SB?
I'd have to say it's with most levels, it's just the puck movement. Plays happen quicker, plays happen more crisp, right? There's the game gets hard when pucks start bouncing around, or guys try to make a pass and it hits off the guy's shin pad and goes back the other way. That's when the game gets hard, is when guys start flipping the thing around everywhere, and you can't, because then you're no longer able to make reads. You're just you're in a pinball machine. And so I think the biggest thing would be puck movement and guys just being able to make plays in smaller areas, right? Guys are able to shoot through screens from different angles, different places. They're able to make those little slip passes, and guys are able to receive that little pass and get it off in a tight space with guys around them. Less overhandling of the puck, things of that nature. I think one thing you see at every level too is more traffic. Because what does every team, no matter what level you're at, what do they want their guys to do? Go to the net. So I think you just learn, and maybe it's just guys at the net, every level you climb, the guys at that next level know how to play a system that much better. Probably that's ultimately part of why they're there. So they just do the little things that a coach wants, more consistently, and one of those things would be going to the net. So. Usually deal with a little bit more traffic as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you're in that pinball machine, it's all about reaction, because you could only rely on your reactions at that point, because you don't know where the puck's going to bounce or where it's going after it hits something else.
Right. You just I think the biggest thing is you just can't get caught chasing the game. I think those are in the moments where the puck starts running around. You can't start running around. You need to again, that's where you work with your eyes and not your body. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great place to wrap up. So DK, thank you so much for coming on the show once again. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing how you guys do the rest of the way in Macon, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.